Hello, everyone. I hope everyone is safe and doing well, healthy, of course. In this video, we're going to focus on volcanoes at the first part. And to give you a insight on what's happening and what causes volcanoes, but the earth is shaking, a whole lot of shaking going on since last week. And we're going to cover a lot of areas as much as possible and try to keep this down to an hour if possible. But we're going to focus on this region of Indonesia as well as Malaysia. And I knew within the next couple of weeks that volcano was going to go off because of the earthquakes. And I don't keep up with the earthquakes in that region as far as marking them because there's so many. And we had a 4.9 that took place off the coast of the Sea of India, 4.3, and in the Mediterranean Sea around Greece as well as Italy. So much is going on, and I'm seeing that because we're at the 38.5 degrees now, and we will go over the magnetic reversal in its current location here in a minute, but a 6.1 took place in the South Sandwich Sea, or the region, and a lot's going on in South America as well. But what I have noticed is what's taking place in the Pacific Ocean, and I'm going to show you. A 5.1 took place, and a 6.2, can you believe that? Okay, a 4.8, and then here in Central America, a 4.8, 4.8, but a number of these indications are increasing in the 5.1, and then another 4.0, 5.1 in that region as well. And the new Madrid fault line is showing a lot of indications, and when I get there I want to explain something. And then in these regions, of course, it's not stopping. They're small, but that's indications. And then what I have noticed is this is increasing, and we're going to go over all of that because I'm very concerned what's happening inside the Baja Peninsula. And then with the hydrothermal vents, we have more indications. I did cover some of them last week. But what's got me is I'm going to have to start marking these in Canada because the term closure is taking place. And then look at this, it's coming from Mount Kilauea. But what's amazing me, it's all over the island. Something is about to take place there, and it's more than the volcano Kilauea. And I made some statements a couple months ago that I was concerned because it's spreading throughout the whole island now. And then look at Alaska. Okay, so we're going to cover those areas as well as what's taking place off the coast of Japan. In this region, we've had a 4.9 in the last couple of days, but also what is taking place in this region of the Solomon Islands, as well as Fuji and New Zealand, of course, a lot of good subscribers, good people there. And then we're going to focus on this area here, Puerto Rico, because a lot's going on there. And, you know, I don't mark these because there's just so many of them. But that fault line is fixing to make the adjustment, should I say. But before we get started, I want to show you some videos that's taken place over the last couple of days from the beginning. And the death toll is rising in Indonesia. It's so sad. Last year when the volcano went off, December the 1st in 2020, almost a year ago, There wasn't that many casualties, but this time I believe it's going to be in the hundreds. And I should have said something last week. I was thinking about it, that volcano is about to go off, and it did. So I'm going to take you there to look at the video footage. It's very shocking. It really is. I'm amazed how the ash made. This is at the beginning, but you'll see here in a few minutes that it actually turned the daytime into night. The ash cloud was so intense that it changed the daylight into darkness. Now look at this. I have never seen this much ash before in a 24-hour period. I've been keeping up with volcanoes for years. And this is nighttime footage. No, it's not. This is the daytime. Now I cut the audio out because people were screaming, and I just didn't want to put that in there. But you can see it. This is daytime, ladies and gentlemen. This is not in the nighttime. Look at the ash coming down, and a lot of this ash mud, should I say, mixed in with the water, and they did receive a lot of rain previously, and now it's causing mudslides. And as you can see, how much is laying on the ground, but it's nothing to what you're about to see. Isn't this amazing? I mean, you know, studying earth changes and the magnetic reversal process and what's happening around the world with the earthquakes, it's really overwhelming for even someone like me, because there's so much of it. There's so much happening with the earthquakes, the volcanic activity, volcanism, and what I mean by that, it's a big category that deals with earthquakes, volcanoes, enormous cracks, sinkholes, and the crust is collapsing in some areas. A lot of report of sulfur is coming up, sulfur dioxide, and it's bubbling up through the water. This is serious, very serious, because when you get sulfur dioxide coming up from the surface into the rivers and streams, then you have gas can be released and can cause explosion. As I covered what was taking place in Africa when the methane gas exploded in the river. Oh man, I'll tell you, this is a lot. You can see right here how much ash. It caused the roof to collapse from the weight, and hundreds of people had to evacuate, and hundreds of people were without electricity and fresh water. A lot of those people get their water from the rivers, and it's really sad, as you can see here. Now you can see how this coverage is going into this cloud of ash, and it turns to darkness. But look at this again. Look at this. I have never seen a volcano do this before. Not this much. No. I have not. And we are at 38.5 degrees just a couple days ago. And this is when it happened just a couple days ago. Look at this. I mean, it's shocking. It really is. Sometimes I just don't know what to say. I know all this information. I've been researching it for years, since 2011, about the magnetic reversal process. But I never thought in 1 minute it would be like this. I never did. Not like this. I knew it was going to get bad, years later, which is now. But look at this footage. This was recorded in the daytime, ladies and gentlemen. Think about that. You can see sunlight on the background in the back, but look how much ash is, tons of ash is being released. I have never seen this before. And I've been keeping up with that volcano for quite some time. And last year, December the 1st, it wasn't like that. But look at it. Now, this is the footage I found where the sulfur dioxide was coming up. And it's probably mixed with methane. And methane is a gas that comes from down in the Earth's crust, and it's explosive. It's similar to natural gas. But I have never seen anything like that. Never. It's shocking, really. Even for someone like me, it's shocking. And I've been to Asia, and those people are very simple-minded people. They're just simply trying to survive. A lot of them grow their own food right next, in the area of the volcano, because the soil composition is very rich. But look at it. They had to evacuate. Thousands of them had to evacuate. And the difference between this and La Palma in Spain is this is a fairly medium-sized island, and La Palma is not. It's small. The whole island of La Palma was formed by the volcano. So they're actually living on a volcano. And a little boy right there. I mean, look at the homes. Complete homes have collapsed or covered up completely in the ash. This is record-breaking numbers. There's hundreds of people are missing, and reports are coming in that hundreds of people have died. Please pray for the people in Indonesia. Please. It's sad. It really is. And we're in the last days. And the Bible spoke of all of this, didn't it? And people's asking me about Revelation 8 when a fiery mountain falls into the sea. Could it be La Palma? And this is La Palma, recorded 3 days ago. Now I'll cut the sound out because it was extremely loud. It sounded like a jet engine. But look at the amount of pressure coming out. It's just amazing. Now this particular volcano does have a lot of silica in it. And what silica does, it makes the lava look like a river. And that's the difference between different types. There's basically 3 different types of lava. And as you know, magma is basically coming from the Earth's upper mantle. And when it reaches oxygen, it changes to lava. But look at the images here of the silica. There's a good example right there. When the lava looks like a river, it has extremely a lot of silica in it. and nickel. They're reporting a huge amount of percentages of nickel coming from La Palma. Well, guess what? Of course. And what that is, that's a sign that it's coming from the all of this magma that contains nickel comes directly from the Earth's center of the Earth's core. And that attracts is because it's a iron content. Maybe you saw the video that I did where it showed a meteor hitting the island, the volcano in Indonesia. And that's what causes it. And as you can see here, the chambers opens up, and what that does, it's a tube under the lava, which the tube doesn't close because it's constantly flowing. Now here's another good sign of the silica. I mean, it's it's mind-blowing to me. As you can see, the silica content is very high. So I'm going to take you somewhere. I'm going to take you to Indonesia. And here it is. This is the one. Now I'm going to rotate this around a little bit so you can see the back side of the volcano. Do you see the difference between the north and the south rim? Can you see that? I'm going to explain why. Because the caldera broke away, and when it did, it converted all of the lava to the south. As you can see it here. And people ask me, why does people live at the base of a volcano? Well, it's pretty simple. The composition of the soil is perfect for growing food, vegetables, at extremely fast rate because of the content of, well, metal, Metal has a lot to do with it because it's very microscopic metal particles, and it produces a lot of iron. But see the villages? You can see they're in square sections for growing vegetables. But you can see this is from the southern rim, what I'm talking about. I'm going to bring you in here a little closer. We're going to move up to the top. Just bear with me here. Keep your clothes on, okay? Alright, so this is the caldera. Now, this was back in 2015 because Goofy Earth does not update for some reason. And this is looking south. I'm going to roll this around a little bit. There. Now you can see. You see that right there? That's a volcano. And this one here is the one that I recorded this year, in which the meteor came and went into the center of the volcano. And people said, oh, it was a direct injury weapon. No, it wasn't. No, it's because a high content of nickel is being produced in these volcanoes now. And so a meteor is made of metal, iron, should I say. And it's charged. And it's looking for a higher charge, and that's when you see the static electricity being recorded in the volcanoes. That's what causes it. When they're coming in, they can actually turn their course and go into the positive side. And this is another volcano. The positive side, what I mean by that is which side has the most energy, and the volcanoes do. Now that's another one. So what formed Indonesia was basically ancient volcanoes thousands of years ago. So there you have it. There's some more. I just wanted to give you an insight about Indonesia. There's another one. Okay. Another one. And the island has a number of vents, and the difference between a vent and a volcano is basically a vent releases pressure. Okay, it does not release lava. It just opens up and releases the pressure. So there you have it. There's quite a few of them in Indonesia, but also Malaysia, the Philippines. I mean, you can go on, and they're everywhere. Now I'm going to take you to Malaysia. Okay. That's the granddaddy right there. I had to restart Google Earth so it would load up. Now the vents look something like that. You can see the release of the pressure, but this is a major volcano. And I'm making the prediction because we're at 38.5 degrees. This one's going to go off within the next 2 months, and it's going to be very severe. But as you can see with the Corvair, broke away, and it made a new area where the lava would flow down, as well as the ash. I just wanted to spend a few minutes to give you a better understanding and show you the footage of what's happening over there. It's very sad. Now this is looking south, and you can see the villages there. That's what I'm saying. They live right next door to it, because if you go 3 or 4, 5, 6 miles away, it takes more time for the vegetables to grow in a time period. So that's why they do that. That's why they live just like Pompeii. The reason they lived at the base, for the same reason. But we're going to cover this region right here in earthquakes in just a moment. I want to share something with you. I want to give everybody a better understanding. You see this plate right here? There's 3 types of place adjustments. This one is separating in Malaysia and Indonesia, and this is the upper mantle, the Earth's crust, and how the plate goes downward. And this is the crust on the islands, and then that area is where a lot of earthquakes will take place, as well as that when the Earth separates, and the release of the pressure pushing on the 2 plates causes the volcanic activity. These are ancient mountain ranges, dormant volcanoes. You have the motion of the subduction plate, and it slides under the locking plate, the upper plate, and it can produce a tsunami and landslides like what happened in Thailand, where over 250,000 people died within 2 to 3 days. So we're going to move into the earthquakes. And this is Indonesia. a 4.3 that took place on the 3rd of December, and it was almost 600 kilometers, 598 kilometers. So that's about 300 miles deep, very, very deep. And it was 4.3 on the 3rd of December. A 4.7 took place on the 2nd, and it was very, very shallow, 10 kilometers, and that's about 6 miles. And it's in this area right here, and this is a major tectonic plate, as you can see. And then we're going to move over here. There was a 4.9 in that region, and it was about 10 kilometers actually, and it was on the 4th. And this is the area that a 6.1 to 5.8 took place back in August. And while we're here, I'm going to move up a little bit. A 5.0, only 10 kilometers took place today, the 6th. And in this region, if you watch the introduction that I put together for the earthquakes, this is a major plate right here pushing against the India plate, pushing against Asia, China in that area. And there's going to be more and more activity along down through here. And there was a 6.2 that took place on the 25th of this year. And also in these areas, this is China, 4.8 took place today, approximately 10 kilometers. 4.7 that took place back on November the 30th. A 5.4 took place in this region. I'm going to bring it in here a little bit. Right there, and that took place on November the 30th. And now we're going to move out. We're going to head to the east on this area. As I covered this area last week, the reason I'm doing it is because I have watched these increase from 2s to 3s, and now they're going into 4s. And as you can see, this is a major fault line in this area. This is where the tectonic plates come to an end as far as the Sea of India in this area, and it comes up through here, and it comes right up through here, up to Samoa, the island of Samoa. And I'm going to zoom in here. There was a 6.0 back in November the 10th in this area. That's in this area here. A 5.4 took place yesterday, December the 5th. Right here in this area. I don't have it marked. I worked on this map today, but I missed that one. A 5.0 right there. Ah, look at this. There it is. I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. Been working a lot of hours, and so just bear with me, and please keep your clothes on. 4.7 right there in this area. This is Solomon Islands, not Samoa. I do apologize again. We have a new region right here, and I've been watching it, and I'm going to show you the location. It's this area here. A 5.0 took place November the 30th. Another 5.0 took place as well, about the same time. But what's got me is this. A 6.3 took place on the 30th as well. I'm going to bring this in for you so you can see what I'm talking about. As you can see, this is all new. I have been watching this area, but something's going on here, and this is new. So this whole area, I zoomed in a little bit to show you what I'm talking about. Can you see this plate right here? This small fault line, should I say? I'm going to bring it in a little bit. That's what you look for, right there. And you're not going to get it on this map because they just don't have it, because they're not, you know, that shows the difference, and they're not going to put a lot of emphasis on that. That's why I enjoy Google Earth. But you can see what I'm talking about. There's a major fault line that runs right down through here. And I don't want to take a lot of time on it because I want to keep this down. You can see this right here. This is a major tectonic plate area that goes all the way up. So there's two different plates here, one here, here, and this is just a fault line. Before we head into Japan, I want to go over this region. A 5.3 took place December the 1st, as well as a 4.2. This is the area that I'm talking about. 5.3, 4.7, all of this took place in that area. And then as we move our way down, I want to go over something with you, if that's okay. October the 9th, they had a 6.9 right there. And if you click onto one, 4.7, very shallow. 5.0, very shallow. 4.2, 132 kilometers. So what I'm getting at, these right here that took place, when I was watching them, they was very, very deep. And when you see even the small ones, a magnitude 4 or a 5, that is like 200 kilometers, that's 100 miles down, ladies and gentlemen. That's a sign that something's about to break. And it did back in October. A 6.9 and a 7.3, so keep in mind with that. The deeper, when you have if you have one, okay, but when you have 3 or 4 or 5 in that same region, something's about to happen. Okay, 4.2 right off of Fuji in this area. But what I've noticed, that this region right here, a 4.6. This is unusual. This is a 4.5 on the 29th of November. But what I'm seeing is like this 4.2. This is right off the coast of the Fuji Islands. Here it is right here. And what I'm seeing is this is making the adjustment to go right down through here. And this is a major tectonic plate right here, the South Pacific. And I don't see any indications, none. So this is telling me it's making the adjustment to come up through this way. Can you see what I'm talking about? Right? Okay. And while we're here, right here, north of New Zealand, we picked up a couple more that was recent. I'm going to pull up here for you. This is what I'm talking about. I'm going to bring this to the north. This area right here, these are volcanoes, underwater volcanoes. And in September of this year, 6 took place right there. But what I want to focus on is this gap between here. I'm going to show you. There's a gap right here. So something's going on. Now, you would think we would have some earthquakes here, but I haven't seen any, actually. Now, I had these marked in this region. The 4.7 that took place today. Another 4.7 back on the 30th of November and the 1st of December. Also, a 5.6 took place today. And my Google Earth froze and it didn't keep them, it didn't save them. So I'm going to mark these after this video is being uploaded. Down here south of New Zealand, no indications of taking place. I want to focus on this area and I'm going to show you why. This is a 4.9 that took place on the 5th of December. It's not marked because, like I said, it didn't save it when it shut down a while ago, and it's approximately in this area. And then a 4.4 took place on the 3rd of December, approximately in this area right here. As you can see, these are underwater volcanoes that are dormant. And then we did have a large volcano that took off over here on this side of Japan that pushed a lot of debris, ships and everything was pushed upward. I didn't find any footage on it. I heard about it, but there was absolutely no video footage on it. This is a 4.4, like I was saying, it was back on this area right here. And the reason I put a lot of emphasis on this is because when you have two major plates coming together, you can see right here, this is the northern Pacific plate, and right here the Asian plate is coming in, and these are separating. What I showed you in that illustration, I found out that this ridge right here is separating from this plate, so it's actually moving outward. And I'm concerned because I think what's going to happen up is this area is going to open up and we're going to see some release of pressure in this area. And I'm just curious if we're going to see any volcanoes open up as well. This 5.0 took place on the 5th of December. And these are the aftershocks of 4.9 on the 4. So this one took off, and then you had this occurred, and then a 4.5 on the 4th. And it's approximately in this area right here. I don't have them marked. I'm trying to catch up on my map as much as possible. And then we had another earthquake right here off the coast of Thailand, 4.7 on the 6th, that was today, 4.6 back on the 30th, and it's approximately in this region, which I'm going to have to go back and map. Also, I'm going to bring this out a little bit. In the Philippines, there was a 4.6 that took place back in the 30th of November, and it's approximately in this island right here. So I have a lot of catching up to do. Of course, I covered that one. That was the 4th of December. Approximately this region as well. So I got a lot of catching up. This was recorded just 2 days ago, and I didn't catch it. I missed that one. And it took place, I'm going to bring this in, as you can see here. You can have this as an indication as far as on the map. So that's basically here, the island right here. This is here. So it's right here on this tectonic plate, and I'm going to definitely flag that one. And that one was about 174 kilometers. A 4.5 took place December the 5th, yesterday, and it's approximately right here in this region. As you can see, this is a fault line that runs right up through here. But I'm concerned about this area. I really am. I believe we're going to see more in this region, and it's going to come right up through here. You just wait and see. So I changed the diagram so you can see the tectonic plates. This is a 5.1 that took place on the 5th of December. And then what I've noticed right here, we have another one, a 4.8 that took place today on the 6th. I'm going to bring it up for you right here. Before we go there, I want to show you something again. That's what's got me messed up. Right here, the 6.2 took place. That was very, very shallow, only 10 kilometers. And it's right here. And as you can see, this is a major, major fault line right up through here. And you know, if you zoom out, I'm going to show you, this is the ring of fire, so you keep in mind, it goes all the way around. Bring this around so you can see what I'm talking about. See this right here? This is the ring of fire. This is the major tectonic plate. And this is the major fault line, and that's the difference. And that's what we have here. And as you can see, it goes all the way through. And this is the area we just covered for the volcanoes from south of Japan. And I'm trying to give you a better example of what's happening in these areas. But as you can see, what's taking place in South America, they're starting to go up. This is a 5.1 right here that took place on December the 1st. I'm going to change this diagram around for you. Bring this back up. Let me know if you prefer to see the tectonic plates rather than what I prefer, and if you do, leave a comment and let me know what you think, because it doesn't show it. I'll rely on Google Earth for that, because I spend a lot of time putting it out there. That 5.1 took place December the 1st, and it was 15 kilometers. And this is the one we just covered over here. But as you can see, this whole area, and this is for 7 days, ladies and gentlemen. It's a 4.5 that took place on the 1st of December, a 4.4 the 5th of December, 4.4 the 2nd of December, a 5.1 the 5th of December. But all of these are pretty close to the same date. They're coming up December the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, 5th, and 6th. This is the 3rd of December. It's 4.6, a 4.7 on the 1st, a 4.4 on the 3rd. You see what I'm saying? A 4.2 on the 1st. So most of these occurred in the the 1st, 2nd, or 3rd of December, a 4.4 the 12th of December. I'm going to bring you up in this area. Now this is a new one, a 5.1 today. So the 5.1 that took place today, it's right here in this region. This is Peru right here, Colombia, and this is where the 7.5 took place. A 4.8, this region right here on the 12th, on the 2nd of December, and this was recorded last week. As you can see, they're making a line across there. We're going to move into South America, and this right here is a 4.8 that took place December the 5th, 4.1 on the 3rd, 4.5 on the 5th, 4.2 on the 5th, 4.4 on the 1st, and this is a 4.7 on the 1st, and a 4.8 on the 4th. You see what I'm saying? December the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th. And this is right around, and then the volcano went off in Indonesia. All of this is taking place, I believe, around the same dates, because the magnetic north is at 38.5 degrees now, and we're going to look at that here in a moment. A 5.1 on today, December the 6th, and a 4.3 back on the 30th of November. A 5.1 took place on the 4th inside the Baja Peninsula. I'll bring this in so you can see what I'm saying. Here's the area, December the 4th, right here. And this is the beginning of the San Andreas Fault. The fault line starts right up in here. This is where it starts. This is the major fault line related to the Ring of Fire. And then we're going to focus in on what I've been watching over the last few days, is this area right here. And as you can see, I removed all the circumferences because it was getting to be just extremely too many. This is a 4.8 that took place on the 5th. There's that number again. And then a 4.6 that took place on the 4th. See what I'm getting at? 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th. And what I mean by that, we're at 38.5 degrees now, ladies and gentlemen. 4.0 December the 4th. And that took place at 4.2 December the 5th. All in these areas. Right here. And this is a 2.4. It's going in the southern part of California, northern part of the Baja Peninsula, and that was recorded back on the 3rd. We're going to move into the hydrothermal vent area, and we'll bring this north for you. And there was a new one. This is the 3.0 that I covered last week. 2.7 on the 30th and a 2.9. But this one here, the 2.8, was yesterday, December the 5th. And it's right here in this region. and then a 1.5 took place right on the edge, right along in here. This took place recently. And a wonderful subscriber, you know, when I asked her people's opinion last week, she said, you know, Jim, if you could put the San Andreas fault line in there in white so we could see it. And that's what I did. And I want to say thank you, sister, for giving me that insight. You know, if there's any way I can improve any of this on my map on Google Earth, let me know. But the San Andreas fault goes right through here. You can see I had it in red, and I'm gonna probably keep it in red. And I'm gonna bring it in here so you can see what I'm talking about. This is the Salton Sea right here in this area, and it runs right up the northern part of Los Angeles, and it breaks across the mountain ranges. Bakersfield's right there, and it goes right up through there. And this area right here is, I have been watching this area, and that is right down through here, as you can see. And then it continues north. This is the area right here that I've been flagging, and you can see it's all up down through here. You see this right here? I'm gonna bring it in for you. Right there. Okay. That's this area right here. Now I don't have them marked because there's just extremely too many of them. And then it comes right up through here, it comes right through San Francisco. And it ends right here. And this is the hydrothermal vent area. And then from here it goes into Cascade Subduction Zone. I'm probably going to mark that one as well. I'm going to move up here and catch this 2.4. And the reason is I want to explain something. My computer did not save what I spent hours saving, the indications on my map. When it shut down, I lost all of this. But what I'm getting at is that took place approximately right here in this region. And I believe we're going to see more and more closure take place up, down through here. And this is what I'm getting at. With the Ring of Fire, we're starting to see this area close up. We're starting to see this area close up as well. And that's basically what I want to get at. We're going to move over here to the new Madrid fault line. I don't know if it saved it. I had them all marked out. But as you can see, there's more indications. A 2.0 took place December the 1st. A 1.8 December the 2nd. 1.8 December the 4th. 1.2 December the 5th. You're getting my point, right? Okay, I don't want to sound irritating, but something's going on here. At 1.5 took place December the 5th. December the 3rd at 1.4. So something's going on. 2.3 December the 1st. I had this one marked. December the 3rd. It's not on my map. Okay. Yeah, it is right there. Okay. So some of them got saved and some didn't. But, you know, it's goofy. And then if we move over here in North Carolina, December was a 2.2. December the 5th yesterday. At 1.6. December the 1st. And a 2.1. December the 3rd. Now I believe I covered these last week. Yes, I did. 1.9 November the 30th. 2.3. That took place on the 1st. So that is a new one. And I don't believe I have it marked out. But something's going on. You know, ever since we hit the 38.5 degree mark, something is taking place. Now this video is going to run over a little bit, I want to focus on what's happening in the Mediterranean, and then we're going to go to the magnetic north. We had a 4.4 that took place December the 1st. Right here in this region, this is Mount Etna. Of course, I've covered that. But you can see that's really what's helping with Palma right now, release the pressure. They're under the same plume, the bulge that's coming from the upper mantle. This is a 4.4 on December the 3rd, 4.4 on November the 30th, 4.2, December the 4th, 4.2, and these are very shallow. These are only 10 kilometers. Just 10 kilometers. This is a 4.7 that took place December the 3rd. I'm going to bring you over here so you can see the region. And it's right here in this location. And this is a tectonic plate right here from the Sea of India. You see these ridges? This is caused by the Earth expanding. And then at 4.9, December the 4th. So there's a lot going on. I already covered this one. This is the 5.5. No, this just happened. It's a 5.5 right here. And it's shallow. Only 10 kilometers. Wow. Huh. That just happened while I'm doing the recording. Okay, so now we're going to move to the magnetic north. So now we're in the area of the magnetic north position. As you can see, I've been tracking these. The 5.2 back in November, 4.9, 4.2, November the 19th, 5.1 in September, 4.3 September, 4.7 in October, 4.6 in August, 4.6 August, and the 4.5 in August. So we're having more and more indications up in the north, and this is the area, of course, of the magnetic north position, and at 4.7 in September. So these are two fault lines right here. You have one breaking here. So I'm just curious. I think we're going to start seeing indications in this area. So I'm going to take you into the magnetic north. Current position as well as what I've estimated. And this is the current location right here. And this is where I believe we're going to be approximately in this area, because it may speed up now. April, a wonderful sister from the channel, she made a statement months ago. If it's slowing down, is it possible that it is going to speed up? And I believe it is highly possible, really. But this is my estimate that I made back 4 months ago. And I'm very, very close. I mean, look at it. So there it is. We're at 38.5 degrees. And this is the estimate for December. I marked it because I haven't done my calculations yet. And we're going to be somewhere around this area. Now, it could be over in here, okay? And it could move over here, and it could move up or slow down a little bit. This is just an estimate for December. So keep that in mind. It is just an estimate, okay? Now, people have asked me, what's going to happen when we reach the 40-degree mark, approximately in April of 2023. Look, that's only a few months from now. That's not very far away. And I'm gonna show you what's going to happen according to my perspective. So here we go. This is approximately 1,270 miles. See that right here? Can you see that? Right here. And what that deals with is this area right here. This is 1,270 miles. So what I'm thinking, and this is just basically my perspective of years of researching, and I'm going to give it to you because people are asking me. This is the equator right now, and this is 1,270 miles, okay? And I believe that's what we're going to be at, and I'm going to show you. Okay, I'm going to turn this sideways and show you. Basically, we're going to end up in Canada. Okay, that's just my perspective. And Canada is going to be up at the magnetic north area, because if we're going to move 1,200 miles, we're going to be approximately there, and I'm going to show you again, just briefly, okay? Each one of these indications that I have right here, okay? That's an indication, and this is an indication. These are 1,200 miles. So it makes sense to me that we're going to move 1,200 miles. Okay, the government says they believe 3,000 miles. Okay, and I just don't follow that, because it doesn't make sense to me. And the reason I'm making this statement is because this will be the new equator right here. Okay, right here. And if that's the case, we're going to end up like the day of Noah. Hear me out, the day of Noah. Now, if you watch from the channel part 1 of the prediction of the government, and part 2, my prediction, you will understand that, what I'm getting at, okay? And I just don't believe we're going to, look, this is 1,200 miles. So they're saying we're going to flip like this at 3,000 miles? Well, if that's the case, then we're going to end up at the magnetic north area. And Canada's going to end up over here in Siberia. Okay, so if you think about it, that's a major disaster, ladies and gentlemen, because at the equator, look, right here at the tropical force at 1,370 miles an hour, when the Earth is rotating, okay, right here in this region is 800 to 1,000 miles more of water from the tropical force, okay? So when the Earth stops rotating, what's going to happen? All of this water is going to expand. All of it, ladies and gentlemen, is going to expand. And it's going to be a major, major disaster. And they are estimating that approximately only 10% of the Earth's population is going to perish. Survive. Now you think about that. The other thing, I want to clear something up. The Earth does not flip, okay? It doesn't. People don't understand the Earth does not do that. What happens is the crust is separating from the upper mantle. That's what's causing the loud booms that are being heard in Africa, okay, South America, North America, And that's what's happening. The problem is the scientists that I'm connected to told me we don't have enough data. None of the governments around the world have enough data to put into their quantum computer, because we discovered the light bulb about a week ago. You follow what I'm saying? But it's not rocket science to me. If the magnetic north is going to be in this location, and this is what they estimated. Now, I don't know how they did it, but several of the main geologists and scientists throughout the world has came up with this location right here. So did the scientists, and I don't know how they came up with it, okay? Why is it not going to end up over here if this fault line is going in this direction, okay? But it doesn't have anything to do with it. And what I mean by that, it's a magnetic north that has started back over here, right here in this region, back in the 1800s. And what is happening is, I'm going to show you something, okay? I know we're going to run over a little bit. I just want to clear something up, because people ask me, what is these two circles right here? Okay, this is the Antarctic, where the South Pole was. And what happened a couple years ago, it split into two different directions. Okay, you can see it right here. This is called the South Atlantic Anomaly. Okay, so the magnetic north is probably going to split in 2 to 3 directions. Okay, that's what I'm thinking. But regardless on how you see it, if it splits into 2 different directions, and I'm going to give it to you right here, okay? Just bear with me, all right? If it splits and goes over into this direction, and then splits and goes into this direction, then what you're looking at is this, okay? 2 different locations. And the crust is going to follow what the magnetic north is doing, and this has already been proven, scientifically. It's done it before. And if you remember what happened in Siberia, which is in this location, right here, this is Siberia. They found mammoth frozen, and I'm going to do a video on it in just about a week or so. Probably it's going to be included with the current position of the magnetic north for December. Okay? So, the saber-toothed tiger, all of that came extinct 10,700 years ago from the day of Atlantis. Okay? So it's not rocket science. It's not. So I just want to clear that up, and 10% of the Earth's population they are predicting will survive. So that means 90% will perish from what? The water. The water. And I'm going to close this out with a map so you can understand what I'm talking about, okay? So here we go. This is the map that I received from the scientists that I'm connected to. And the map, the original map I had, did not have the state lines on it. And you can see here, the government already knows that when we go through crust displacement, North America is going to get flooded, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, there's no doubt about it. That's why I was underwater in Houston at the Woodlands at 500 to 800 feet underwater. And now I live in New Mexico at 7,500 feet. So I knew all of this was coming over 8 years ago. And Back in 2012, I made the adjustment, and I suggest you make the adjustment as well. And if you look at this map, it shows the eclipse. 2017, September 23rd, 2017, marks the spot. And it ends in 2024 with the new Madrid. And this clip will show you the constellation of Virgo and Leo. Leo has 9 stars. Mercury, Venus, and Mars moved into the constellation back in 2017. And she was clothed in the sun. The moon was at her feet. And they went 7,000 years in the past using spectrum and program. And they went 7,000 years in the future. It simply is not there. Okay? This is the only time it has appeared. And then we had the planetary system, wormwood in the Bible. 300,000-mile debris field, 1.5 to 2 million mile long tail. And we're going to pass through it every 5 to 7 months for 5 to 7 years. We're not going to make it, ladies and gentlemen. In Revelation 6, 12 through 14, and I watched in the 6th seal, there was a great earthquake, and the sun turned black like sackcloth. You know, this is real. This is real. Whether you like it or not, this is real. We are in the 7-year tribulations, ladies and gentlemen. And it also states in the book of Revelation, every island and mountain will be moved off its place. Well, that's a magnetic reversal. And they can't see it because it's in the infrared zone. Okay? We're going to go through it. There's no way. I've been keeping up with the planetary system for 18 years, and I'm telling you, we're not going to make it. And the scientists told me we're going to flip with the magnetic reversal, and then we're going to flip again when the planetary system gets here and flip us again. Now, in this illustration, it shows the 50 years of Jubilee. Okay? And I know the video's running over way too much. But I want to answer the woman's question in this video and everyone else's questions. Okay? And I want you to hear me out. And I do apologize. I'm doing the best I can to finish this up. And it's going to be an hour and 20 minutes. But I want you to hear me out. I have been researching the 7-year tribulations, and I was in denial writing an article. I spent 4 months writing that article, 3 months in denial. Okay? And I'm telling you, it's not a coincidence. It's the facts, whether you like it or not. And you can go back and watch the 7-year tribulations on Earth Changes channel dealing with the signs. It's a 7-part series called The Signs, okay? But there you are, 120, 170. And then 50 years brings us to September 23rd, 2017. Marks the beginning of the 7-year tribulations. So now we're going to go here. I don't fear these events, and neither should you. If, there's that word, if, you have prepared spiritually, and the purpose of Earth Changes channel, Deep Truth, Deep Impact, and the Real Precursor series, is to help you prepare spiritually. I love you all. This video took 6 hours of my life. And I'm telling you, we don't have much left before the magnetic reversal process is completed by April 2023. And the planetary system's going to be here in 2023. We're going to witness it. Look, this is real. This isn't Hollywood, ladies and gentlemen. This is real. And I truly love you all. I pray for all of you every day. Each and every one of you. And please pray for our sister April. She has the virus. And pray for her recovery. Be safe, everyone. Please continue in prayer and be strong. This is not the time to lay down. This is the time to stand up and say, I'm ready to go home. I'm ready too. Be safe, everyone. And may the Heavenly Father continue to watch over you and your loved ones. Please continue in prayer and spread those seeds so other people can wake up and understand we are in the last days, so our families and loved ones can go home. Christ has done everything he could possibly do for me and you and everyone else. God bless everyone. Be safe, be strong, with many blessings of love and understanding.